Society has sold you a very expensive lie. They told you that if you are humble, if you are fair, and if you are morally compliant, the world will reward you. But look around. The rewards don't go to the virtuous. They go to the strategic. While you are waiting for justice, others are seizing power. You aren't losing because you are unlucky. You are being destroyed because you are playing a ruthless game with a handicap. Your morality is not a shield, my friend. It is a cage. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince for evil men. He wrote it for good men who were tired of being victims. Today, we dismantle the trap of the nice guy. We're going to learn why virtue without power is just suicide. If you don't understand this, your life will not change. Every day you wait, others seize what you could have commanded. Welcome to the abyss. And if that introduction made your stomach turn, good. That visceral reaction, that tightness in your chest, is your survival instinct waking up after a long hibernation. Now I know what the critics will say. They'll call this cynical. They will say I am corrupting virtue or preaching darkness. Let them. Because true insight often begins where comfort ends. And the comfort of the just world fallacy is exactly what has kept you sedated for this long. But let's slow down for a second. Let's look at why you bought into this lie. You see, we are raised on a transactional promise. Input goodness, output reward. We are told the universe operates on a divine balance sheet. But deep down, there is a truth you are terrified to admit, even to yourself. You're tired of being the only one who plays fair. You are exhausted by the constant maintenance of a mask that brings you zero return on investment. And here is the hardest pill to swallow, the one that might make you want to click away, but I urge you to stay. When you let people walk over you, when you didn't speak up during that meeting, or when you let your partner disrespect your boundaries, you didn't stay silent because you were noble. You stayed silent because you were afraid. You weren't afraid of being bad. You were afraid of losing the approval of people who don't even respect you. And no matter how much you pretend it's virtue, that buried resentment is starting to rot you from the inside out. So here is your first challenge. Think about the last time you were the bigger person. The last time you swallowed your pride, accommodated someone else's incompetence, or sacrificed your own gain just to keep the peace. Feel that moment. Did they thank you? Did the universe hand you a check? Or did they simply step over you to get what they wanted, leaving you with nothing but your own silent rage? That pain you feel isn't nobility. It's the feedback loop of a broken strategy. But we need to go deeper. We need to leave your internal feelings for a moment and look at the cold, hard mathematics of how the world actually views you. Because the problem isn't just that you are suffering. It's that your suffering is creating the very rejection you are trying to avoid. Here is the brutal economic reality. Scarcity creates value. When you present yourself as harmless, as accommodating, as someone who is always available and never disagrees, you aren't signaling virtue. You are signaling that you are cheap. You are flooding the market with your own approval until it is worthless. And in the eyes of a predator, or frankly just a normal person navigating a competitive hierarchy, that signal is blood in the water. It tells them you have no other options. But what comes next is far more disturbing. The reason you are failing socially isn't just because you look weak. It's because you are accidentally being manipulative. People don't hate your goodness. They hate the burden of your expectations. I want you to think of a specific person right now. Identify one relationship where you are doing this right now. Think of that one person you tried so hard to please. You listened to their problems for hours. You rearranged your schedule for them. You gave them 110% of your energy. And yet, they pulled away. They looked at you with boredom, or worse, with pity. Notice how this pattern repeats with every person you overserve. Why? Because you trapped them in a covert contract. You handed them an unsolicited loan and expected them to pay you back with love. You thought, I sacrificed for you, so now you owe me respect. But they never signed that contract. And when they sense this, when they feel the sticky, desperate weight of your need for validation, it repels them. It triggers a subconscious disgust because it looks like a beggar shaking a tin cup, demanding affection in exchange for basic decency. So here is the terrifying paradox we are left with. If being good makes you weak, and being nice makes you manipulative, what is left? Do you become a monster? Or is there a third option? A state of being that is neither harmless nor evil, but something far more dangerous. So, here is the fork in the road. You realize that niceness is a trap, and goodness without power is just submission. Does that mean you have to become the villain? No, but you are going to have to kill the coward that has been masquerading as a saint. Because here is the uncomfortable reality that society works very hard to hide from you. Incapacity is not a virtue. We have been brainwashed to believe that the rabbit is moral because it doesn't eat the wolf. But the rabbit doesn't spare the wolf out of mercy. It spares the wolf out of incapacity. It has no choice but to be good. And that is where the rot sets in. When you spend your life suppressing your aggression, swallowing your truths, and smiling when you want to scream, you aren't purifying your soul. You are poisoning it. You are letting your potential decay into resentment. Identify it right now. What is one suppressed truth or aggression you've been swallowing every single day? Picture that energy for a second. It doesn't vanish just because you ignore it. It turns inward. It eats you alive. True authority, the kind that commands silence when you walk into a room, requires the option of destruction, voluntarily holstered. This is the difference between a victim and a sovereign. A sovereign is not a man without a dark side. He is a monster who has learned to govern himself. And this is the redemption you need to hear right now. You are not weak because you lack power. You are exhausted because you are burning 100% of your fuel just to keep your own beast in a cage. You were taught that your teeth were bad, so you pulled them out. But a king without a sword isn't a ruler. He's just a target with a crown. To escape the abyss, you don't need to become evil. You need to become capable. Because true peace is not the absence of conflict. True peace is the possession of a capability for war so overwhelming that conflict becomes unnecessary. But philosophy without strategy is just daydreaming. You cannot simply decide to be dangerous. You must build the infrastructure of power. And for this, we turn to the master strategist himself. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must not rely on one nature alone. If you are only a lion, you will fall into traps. If you are only a fox, the wolves will devour you. You must be both. To escape the cage of the nice guy, you must first adopt the way of the fox. The fox is your defense system. It protects you from manipulation. First, master strategic silence. The nice guy over-explains because he seeks validation. The fox speaks less than necessary, forcing others to fill the silence and reveal their cards. Second, audit the intent. Stop assuming everyone thinks like you. When someone asks for a favor, ask yourself, what is the trade here? Third, never reveal your full hand. Stop broadcasting your plans, your insecurities, and your emotional state to people who haven't earned access to your inner world. In the absence of information, people project power onto you. But the fox alone is just a survivor. To command respect, you must integrate the way of the lion. The lion is your offensive capability. It establishes the perimeter. First, and most importantly, cultivate the willingness to walk away. This is the ultimate negotiation power. If you cannot leave a relationship, a job, or a conversation, you are a hostage, not a participant. Remember the economic reality. Your ability to walk away creates scarcity, and scarcity creates value. Second, practice direct confrontation. The nice guy uses passive aggression. The lion states the grievance clearly, calmly, and without apology. Third, enforce consequences. A boundary without a consequence is just a suggestion. If someone crosses the line, you do not explain why it hurt your feelings. You remove your access, your time, or your attention. Here is your mission for today. Pick exactly one tactic, whether it's silence or walking away, and test it. Watch how the energy in the room shifts. When you combine these, the cunning to see the trap and the ferocity to enforce the boundary, you stop being a nice guy who hopes for love. You become a sovereign who commands respect. And as Machiavelli famously noted, it is much safer to be feared than loved, because love is given at their whim, but fear is maintained by your own hand.